So at one point, when I first went to the hospital, I couldn't sleep at all. I'd be up all night long, and I got a few hours of sleep standing up in the windowsill with 6 pillows, or trying to bend over the couch, kneeling on the couch. I couldn't really sleep that way either. And then finally, the diuretic started working, and I was able to go to sleep, usually during the day only. And then by the time I was out and home, I was back to normal. Actually, the first night that I ever got 8 hours of sleep was when I got home. Of course, because look at that hair, man. Look like a little, what is that anyway? God dang. I'll tell you what. Never mind. That's another subject. So, I proved the doctors wrong. I walked out of the hospital. They did not want me to go. Everybody's screaming and yelling at me. I had to wait a week to see. I thought I'd go right back to the emergency room, but I wanted to go get some stuff notarized, living will. My house, I didn't know what my home condition was because I live in an RV, and wow, everything's great. I left with the meds, and they screwed that all up, and we had snow, and I almost killed myself driving down the road. I mean, the closest ever. I went sideways like 6 times, and I was ready to go off the road. I got control again a little bit, and 6 cars came at me head on, and I'm like going, oh my God. And I swerved in between every other one, and like, if they would have changed lanes to get away from me, we would have been killed. I was going like 50 miles an hour, a little bit downhill, not a lot. And then after that, it broncoed back and forth, and I caught the wheels on some pavement. And the only reason I was going out was to go get my prescriptions that the doctors had screwed up. So when I was at a point where I couldn't sleep at all, I talked to Cindy one day, and I started crying as soon as she called. I said, I don't want to live anymore. And so then I said, Lord, take me. And he says, Glenn, I want you to be a stand-up comedian. And I said, oh, how humiliating, Lord. You know I got stage fright. And he goes, and he goes, Glenn, I want you to, or you could be an Australian spotted white-mouthed tree frog. And I said, well, would I be poisonous? And he didn't answer. So I was like, I've never been to Australia. I think I'll take him up on that. The hospital says, I said, well, I think I'll go to work, drive an Uber. I'm still in a money crisis. And thank you very much for all your help on everything. All of the money went towards bills and, storage, rent, and all that. And I'm going to borrow some money from the pawn shop now and go gambling. We got a casino down here. I love it. It's fun to play cards. But my buddy plays cards, so I go to his house a lot. And I do go to the casino. I've won before and lost. It's just fun. That's what I do. Everybody has a thing that they like to do. Don't get me wrong. I went cold, double cold turkey, which they were supposed to get me off that drug, and we literally yanked it out and threw me out the door. It was the last day before the fourth nor'easter, and I knew I had to get home, and I told them 3 days ahead. And they're like going, well, next you're going in for an operation, abrasive laser. It'll go inside your heart and scar it up to slow it down. Well, the only reason my heart was going fast was because of the drug they were giving me, which was rat poison, and now it's called Jamba Juice, and they wanted to send it home with me, and they screwed that all up. And I was going to go home with it, but they screwed it up, so thank God. They called me up the night and go, gee, Glenn, we couldn't find a nurse to come to your house that would take Medicaid. I said, really? Cool. That's okay. Next day, I was sick. I was throwing up. I had diarrhea. I had no strength at all, and I thought that I would be right back in the hospital in 3 days because Howard County had tried to do this before on their own, and it didn't work, getting me off the heroin, heart heroin, I call it, or Jamba Juice is now called. The doctors like that too. Jamba Juice was perfectly fine with them. One day, a student nurse, she's learning on me, and the nurse said, and she's trying to screw an IV of the Jamba Juice in, and she's like shaking, and she's like scared of her own shadow and everything, and it's like, oh my God. And I fell asleep. It's like, I'm finding myself all of a sudden just falling asleep. I fell asleep at an intersection with my foot on the brake. Don't tell anybody. Christ above, all I need to do now is lose my license. And I don't want to wreck with anybody, but I will tell you that if I do wreck, it's not because I've been drinking, because that's my other cold turkey, is I quit drinking 6 weeks ago and I will never go back. I can't. This medicine has got warnings all over it. And I don't think that it's going to... The drip that I would have went home with was... only intended for a short time. The mortality rate is less than a year or less. It will save you because what it does is bring up your heart pressure up 50 pounds, 50 units, whatever it is, 50. So I went from 80 to 130, but my pulse was floating at 100, and it spiked at 150. As soon as I got off the Jamba Juice at home, which I wasn't supposed to do, everything got better. And progressively every day got better. And then I just found out yesterday, I went to the hospital for an outpatient visit. They picked me up in a private vehicle and took me there and back. And I've been doing my vitals, and vitals are great. So she said, I want you to lose another 5 pounds and double up on that new miracle drug. I said, cool, I like that idea. And I get home and I find out I was only taking a half a dose to start with, and I'm like going, whoa, I don't want, if I take 4 times the amount, I'll probably end up back in the hospital. So I called her and just straighten it out. And now I'm going down to pawn shop again today. He's a friend of mine. He's from Texas. He knows Willie Nelson, and I've done $10,000 worth of work. And as soon as I walk in there, I haven't done that in 20 years to borrow money. And I had a couple of McKnight prints that were worth just 2 prints, $1,000. He gave me $400. I got to pay him back $80 interest a month. Oh God, that's why I never go there. But anyway, he goes right away. He goes, well, I need another bathroom done. Okay, all right. How much will it be? I said at least $5,000 labor. I wasn't going to go back to work. I'm applied for Medicaid and I'm approved, and all I need is my birth certificate, of course, which is in Italy. And it's going to take 6 weeks to do that, and I got to send them a notarized letter and $50, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing that just in case, and I'm ready. I was thinking about getting an RV and doing some travel. I have problems at home. They want to, well, they want me to move the trailer, so I'm working on cleaning up things and moving it behind 100 yards away. But I might leave anyway. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm tired of this, especially if I can't tile anymore. That was the reason I was here, making decent money tiling, and now I'm looking at sitting on a stool and spinning in a circle. Doesn't make much money doing that. I can't be on the internet all day, although that's the main reason I left, is that I had so many eBay orders to fill and I was losing customers, and when I lose one, they put in for a refund, and it'll bankrupt me, and I'll never be able to use eBay again. And that was the only thing I had left going, and it's doing great. It's taking a break right now. It took me 3-4 days to catch up, and a couple items were a problem, but out of 40 orders, most of them never bigger than $100. $50 is a big one. 10, 20 is an average. I sell a lot of parrot antibiotics across the world, and I'm thinking about expanding on. If I got time, I'm gonna start milking this thing and making it big, and I'm gonna get on Amazon and this. I got my own website. I also have another store that sells yard sale stuff, and I didn't want to lose that, because if I start liquidating all my stuff, I mean, it's right in front of me, thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff. And I've done this so many times on eBay. When I moved to Florida, I sold everything, and it was amazing what you could sell. I sold stuff for my brother and myself that took a year to sell, but even on eBay, it sells. So if you got anything, there's a lot of stores that do eBay commission sales, and I thought about that, but that's not making money. But if anybody needs something listed, let me know. Or if they want me to set them up an account, I just need a certain amount of information. That's what I'd like to do, is start setting people up with accounts, because they're always interested. Here they got like antique cars, and they sell great. I'm looking for cars all the time. I either go to eBay, Craigslist is a joke because it's instantly gone. I found Facebook sales pretty decent, but there's other local ones and other stuff, but I'm starting to look around. eBay's pretty cool about it. You got to put a bid on it. If you win, you go wherever it is. I got my van now for $1,800. I've been driving for 15 years and put 200,000 miles on it. And the only reason I haven't shot it yet is that the engine is running great. And people are like, it's rusting completely. The body is actually falling off of it. The doors can't even open in the back. And I'm dying to I shot my credit in 2008. I went bankrupt because of the construction industry and moved to Florida. We cashed everything we could and moved to Florida with all the parrots. We looked like the Beverly Hillbillies. But no, actually, I was going to use pod. We had 3 pods, but they wanted so much money, it was ridiculous. I emptied them out and took a Penske diesel, biggest truck they had, for $1,000. You can't do that anymore. No way. I looked at the prices. They're like $5,000 now. Must be the insurance. Well, I got a million stories and a million jokes, so I'm going to practice my routine. This is my first time to do that and set it on Facebook for the first time. So it's good to see you all. Hope you come to my show. I don't want to go to Carnegie Hall, though. I'm scared. I got stage fright. I do play in the band, though. I play piano, and I got me a really, really nice Yamaha electric. I have the original synthesizer that Pink Floyd used in 1970s. Well, I forget the name. I'll remember in a second. Mini Moog or something. Moog. Prodigy. And I had a Hammond B3 organ with revolving Leslie speakers, and I love that thing. I had to sell it, and somebody bought it from Italy and came over and took it away, and they packaged it and sent it to Italy. It was customized for studio before, and I think I got it for $5,000, but I don't think it'll be. I'm going to probably get a small compact something made by Hammond themselves or so eventually, if I get back in a band. I was actually 2 years ago, was in a band up here in Maryland, and that just didn't work out for me schedule-wise and practice and all. So I said, nah, I'm too old for that. But you know what? I have to tell you, back in high school in San Jose, I made my first $100 in a rock and roll band playing at some high school party, and I sang Leonard Skinner, Gimme 3 Steps, and we played all kinds of crazy stuff, and I loved Jay Giles back. There's all kinds of bands. Hey, talk to you later.